We're going to talk about the disturbing murders at Keddie cabin. ये केस बहुत ही ग्रूसम केस है और बहुत ही ब्रूटल मर्डर्स हुए हैं इस केस में. आप जानेंगे कि क्या हुआ था और how this case went about and where is the investigation standing today. क्या चल रहा है इन्वेस्टिगेशन में. इस केस के बारे में इंटरनेट में बहुत सारी थियरीज हैं और बहुत सारी इन्फॉर्मेशन अवेलेबल है क्योंकि ये बहुत ही पॉपुलर केस है. तो let's talk about this case and let's try and understand what happened and where is this case heading to. So let's talk about the story. The Keddie murders are an unsolved quadruple homicide that occurred over the night of April 11 to 12, 1981 in Keddie, California, United States. The victims were Glenna Susan Sue Sharp, born March 29, 1945, daughter Tina Louise Sharp, born July 22, 1968, son John Stephen Sharp, born November 16, 1965, and John's friend Dana Hall Wingate, born February 8, 1964. The murders took place in house number 28 of the Keddie resort. The bodies of Wingate, Sue and John Sharp were found on the morning of April 12 by Sue's 14-year-old daughter Sheila, who had been sleeping at a friend's house. Sue's two younger sons, Rick and Greg, as well as their friend Justin Smart, were also in the house but were unharmed. Tina was missing from the scene. Tina remained a missing person until April 1984 when her skull and several other bones were recovered at Camp 18, California, near Feather Falls in Butte County, about 62 miles from Keddie. Multiple leads and suspects were examined in the intervening years, but no charges were filed. Several new leads were announced in the 21st century, including the discovery of a hammer in a pond in 2016 and the discovery of new DNA evidence. So theories, let's talk about the theories. The only two suspects are Marty Smart and his roommate Bo Bubede, who lived two cabins down from the Sharps. Marty Smart was married to Marilyn Smart, the mother of Justin Smart, who was one of the kids that was found alive and well in the cabin. Marty was reportedly an abusive husband, and there are reports that Sue Sharp had been counseling Marilyn on her marriage. When finding out about Sue's interference with his marriage, Marty reportedly went ballistic about it. Marty reportedly left for Reno, Nevada soon after the murders. Law enforcement at the time felt that the killer was more than one person. Hence, them throwing Marty's roommate, Bo, who was an ex-con, into the case as an accomplice. Despite there being much more to this case at the time, the investigation strangely stopped there. There was evidence that seemingly went unnoticed and people of interest that may not have been looked upon properly. The father of Dana Wingate, the friend of the Sharps that was also killed, said in 2001 that the police had stumbled over each other and fouled up the case. And he isn't alone in that line of thinking, as many suspect the police on the case may have been involved in a cover-up. Former Sheriff Doug Thomas, who was sheriff at the time of the murder, is accused of a cover-up in many online theories, which alleged that he was a close friend to Marty Smart at the time. Sheriff Thomas did say that he gave one session of advice to the Smart couple, which took place before the murders. However, Marilyn Smart does not recall the meeting with her husband, Marty, and the sheriff, but said that the two were not friends to her knowledge, though some consider Marilyn Smart a conspirator as well. Former Sheriff Doug Thomas recently addressed his accusations. जब शादी में या रिलेशनशिप में कोई प्रॉब्लम्स होते हैं तो हम किसके पास जाते हैं? रिलेशनशिप एडवाइज़र के पास ना, काउंसलर। ये लोग पुलिस के पास चले गए। In 2013, the case was reopened by current sheriff Greg Hagwood and Mike Gamberg. Both of them had personal connections to the victims of the case. Here's what Sheriff Hagwood had to say about the police cover-up theory. The first development happened when Gamberg organized boxes of case reports and evidence from the case that had been shoved aside. What he found was a letter written by Marty Smart to his wife, Marilyn, reportedly written soon after the murders. It reads, "I've paid the price for your love, and now that I've bought it with 4 people's lives, you tell me we are through? Great. What else do you want?" Marilyn doesn't recall receiving the letter. However, she did recognize her ex-husband Marty's handwriting. The second development was something also found in those boxes of case files. Gamberg found the taped anonymous phone call that tipped off the location of the remains of Tina Sharp. The audio of that 9/11 call is now being compared with audio of suspects looking for a match. Though it's worth mentioning that the tape was never voice analyzed at the time. Here's current investigator Sheriff Hagwood on that tape. Why that sat in a sealed evidence envelope, never opened, I don't have the answer to that. But we have it now. The third development came from Gamberg speaking to Marty Smart's former therapist in Reno, Nevada. Apparently, Marty had confessed to the murders in a session. The therapist reportedly told Gamberg that even he was surprised that the investigators at the time of the murders hadn't used the confession against Marty. The fourth development was the discovery that a man had found a steel blue-handled claw hammer using a metal detector near a pond near Keddie. The hammer matched the description of one that Marty had told investigators he'd lost. As of late November 2016, it was being tested for DNA or blood residue as a possible additional murder weapon. Here's Sheriff Hagwood on the current status of the case. There are people locally who know more than they've said, and I believe we've identified some of them, and we know who they are, and we know where they are. And I have every confidence that they either participated after the fact or they have first-hand information. It's noticeable that Hagwood said that there are at least 6 of these people of interest, all of which are alive. In regards to the killers being Marty Smart and Bo Bubede, Hagwood said this: "It's a theory that we are working to the degree possible to conclude or dismiss. There's a disproportionate amount of evidence and information that tends to point in that direction. As of now, nobody has been charged, though you can rest easy knowing that Hagwood and Gamberg continue to dig deeper on what really happened that one night in cabin 28. Here's one final thought from Sheriff Hagwood. There is not an expiration date on homicides, and to the extent that we have surviving siblings and family members, it is our fundamental obligation to them to understand who did this and why. Sheila Sharp, one of the surviving members of the Sharp family, said this of Hagwood: "Finally, I have somebody who cares. In the last 3 years, he has done more than the Plumas County Sheriff's Office has done in the previous 32 years. So, that's the case. And, this case is still unsolved. Or, it's an open investigation. अभी भी ये केस ओपन है और इन्वेस्टिगेशन चल रही है. Police are still working on this case, and if we see on YouTube and any other platforms, several YouTubers have visited the site, and इसके लिए उन्होंने क्या किया कि they have dismantled that cabin, and a lot of YouTubers have visited the site. They have stayed overnight to experience the vibe of that place. So हम ये कहेंगे कि जो भी है, इंटरनेट में बहुत सारी थियरीज अवेलेबल हैं और अभी भी क्योंकि ओपन इन्वेस्टिगेशन है. एनी थॉट्स अबाउट द केस यू कैन कमेंट इन द कमेंट सेक्शन, एंड आई विल सी यू इन द अपकमिंग वीडियोस. आप लोग सजेस्ट कर सकते हैं कि आप कौन से सॉल्व या अनसॉल्व मिस्ट्री आप देखना चाहेंगे फ्यूचर में. आई विल सी यू इन द अपकमिंग वीडियोस. थैंक यू सो मच अगेन फॉर वॉचिंग द वीडियो, एंड बाय बाय.